In today's video, I wanted to talk to you about how I personally am finding an ICP, which for those who don't know, it stands for Ideal Client Profile, or Ideal Customer Profile, sorry. And that is what it stands for, but for those who don't know, those who are new to the channel, I have currently set myself with a goal of making at least £2,000 before I return back to school in September. So currently the progress on that, the update sort of for the video, is that we're at £80. So I'm looking to expand that with the agency that I run and sort of other income sources. I've started a WAP, which should hopefully be generating me some income. I have tried to do some content shoots for some businesses, but that so far hasn't gone very well. But the main sort of source of income will hopefully be from the agency. So we should be seeing some income, some updates from that in the near future. I document every single day on my social media. If you want to check it out there day by day, what I'm doing and how it's going, that is kind of a more frequent update on there if that's something you are interested in. But anyway, back to the main point of the video is how I'm finding my ideal client profile. And I'm sort of very early on in the business stage, in the agency phase of trying to grow the agency, actually trying to get some clients. And I can't say that I'm that experienced as an agency owner or a business owner, as I did start the agency only around 3 months ago. But before that I was doing some social media management and some other things. But yeah, I'm not like the most experienced person ever to talk to you about how to actually find your ICP. So that's why I'm saying how I'm finding it. But how do you find an ICP, or how am I finding my ICP? Well, how I am finding it is by simply looking at a certain niche. This is probably the most important thing. You stick to one niche, you figure out their problems, you figure out what that sort of business type or that industry is struggling with at the minute. Maybe they're having a quiet season during the summer. So if you want to pick an ICP for the summer, then you want one that has a quiet time or a quiet sort of period of time where you can come and provide your services. If you're doing lead generation or something where you generate them more jobs or more sales, whatever it may be. So yeah, by picking a quiet season or quiet period of time for a business, that is a really great way to actually, try and see and provide them with more sales, more services, more jobs, whatever it may be. So that is kind of the first thing. A niche is really important because when you stick to a niche, you understand their key terminology. So when you're outreaching, when you're doing your cold calls, your emails, Instagram DMs, whatever sort of outreach method you prefer to use, when you are doing that, then you actually go all the way from just understanding a little bit about their niche, but as you progress forward, as you do more cold calls, or even as you start to provide services for a particular business or a industry, you understand exactly how their business operates, what key terms they use, and that will help you in the future for further outreach. So picking a niche and also picking like a quiet season or somewhere where they're not as busy as they normally would be can be very helpful, as they will probably be in need of your services, as you want to do something that's kind of, where they need you and you don't necessarily, you don't want to come across like you really need them when you're doing your outreach. You want to come across as they need you. So if you pick a time where they're feeling and experiencing a pain point such as being quiet, that is a great way to actually gain a client, because you don't want to seem desperate. You need to make it seem like they need your solution, which is your services or your product. That's kind of the way that I would do outreach, and the way that I'm currently doing it, framing it that they need my help, my services, and hopefully from there you will gain some more clients because they can actually see the value in what you're trying to provide. So a side note from that, picking your niche, picking a quiet time or something where they're not as busy is a great way to do it. Another way to do it would be to actually look at what does the market, what sort of audience does that market already have. And if you can pick a specific sort of growth pattern where that market and that client type is only growing by a little bit, but it hasn't quite caught on enough yet where the market is oversaturated and flooded, then there's a great opportunity to pick your ICP. If there's something that's new, so for example AI, if AI agencies or AI systems are currently experiencing issues, then that can be a great way for you to swoop in, fix your service, provide them your service, and then hopefully fix that problem for them. So by picking like a market that's not quite exploded, not everyone knows everything about it yet, by doing that you actually get to understand what it's like to work in a new market, but more importantly they will most likely need you, as that service isn't yet available because they're a new market, they're a new industry or a new niche. So if you can see something that's sort of just growing or just becoming something online, then that is a great way to go down that path, because you get to understand, like I said, what it's like to work with a new industry. And actually, there won't be very many of the services you're offering for that business because it's a new business or a new niche. So that's kind of how I do it. The other way you can actually grow your audience or grow your target customer through either social media or, providing value to someone in some way. And you can also do a free trials for customers if that's something that you do. Get them interested and then get them to like your service, and then eventually they will become a paying client, hopefully. But yeah, there's many ways to do it, and that is kind of the main ways that I was thinking. That's the main ways that I'm doing at the moment. So that is a short, sharp video. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to take it one step at a time, and I'll see you in the next one.